Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. I am with you Anas, and today I will present my project for Islamic civilization in the world history. My topic is Ibn Batuta, traveler and scholar of the Islamic world. I had already selected this topic and informed ma'am earlier. It seems someone presented the same topic before me, but no issue, inshallah. I can approach it with different insights, inshallah. In this presentation, I will take you through the life, journeys, observations, and contributions of Ibn Battuta, one of the most remarkable travelers in Islamic history. We will explore not only his travels but also the significance of his observations for understanding the Islamic world in the 14th century. Introduction. Ibn Battuta, born in 1304 in Tangier, Morocco, was a Muslim scholar and explorer who traveled extensively for nearly 30 years. He journeyed across Africa, the Middle East, India, Central Asia, and the Southeast Asia, covering about 75,000 miles, and distance unmatched until modern times. His travelogue, the Rihla, offers a unique window into the Islamic world during the 14th century, documenting social, political, religious, and cultural practices across regions. In today's presentation, I will highlight his life, motivations, travels, and contributions to knowledge. Objectives of the presentation. The main objectives of this presentation are fourfold. First, to examine the life and journeys of Ibn Battuta. Second, to analyze his contributions to Islamic knowledge and cultural understanding. Third, to evaluate the historical relevance of his work, particularly the Rihla. And fourth, to explore how these observations can inform our understanding of Islamic civilization today, including lessons about cross cultural engagement and intellectual curiosity. Early life. Ibn Battuta was born in Tangier, Morocco in 1304. He came from a family of Islamic scholars, which gave him a solid foundation in Quranic studies, Arabic language, and Shafi'i jurisprudence. His early education instilled in him a deep love for knowledge and a strong religious grounding. By his early 20s, he was already well prepared intellectually and spiritually to undertake long distance travels, motivated initially by the pilgrimage to Mecca or Hajj. Motivation for travel. Travel for Ibn Battuta was driven by a combination of religious duty, intellectual curiosity, and desire for cultural exploration. Performing Hajj was an obligatory spiritual journey, but for him it became a gateway to a much larger exploration of the Islamic world. He was fascinated by different interpretations of Islamic practice, the diversity of cultures, and the opportunity to engage with scholars across regions. His journeys reflect a unique combination of devotion, scholarship, and adventure. First journey, Hajj to Mecca. At the age of 21, Ibn Battuta left Tangier for Mecca in 1325. The journey took him across North Africa through cities like Fez and Cairo. He observed regional variations in Islamic practice, governance, and social life. This pilgrimage laid the foundation for his later travels. Along the way, he engaged with local scholars and communities, which shaped his understanding of the diverse expressions of Islam across territories. Travels across the Islamic world. After completing the Hajj, Ibn Battuta continued traveling for nearly 30 years, visiting regions spanning North Africa, the Middle East, East Africa, India, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia. He traversed deserts, seas, and mountains, documenting his experiences meticulously. His total journey covered around 75,000 miles, far exceeding the travels of contemporaries. Each region offered new insights into governance, culture, commerce, and Islamic practice. Travels in Africa. In Africa, Ibn Battuta visited Mali, Timbuktu, and the Swahili coast. He recorded the organization of Muslim communities, the administration of rulers, and the practice of Islamic law. He also described local culture, trade, and social customs. For example, he observed the gold trade in Mali and the scholarly activities in Timbuktu, noting both the sophistication of these societies and their integration with Islam. Travels in Middle East. Ibn Battuta traveled extensively through the Middle East, visiting cities such as Cairo, Damascus, Baghdad, Mecca, and Medina. In these regions, he studied Islamic jurisprudence, fiqh, interacted with scholars, and observed political systems. He paid close attention to religious institutions, markets, and educational centers. His accounts provide detailed descriptions of the administration of the Mamluk Sultanate in Egypt and other ruling authorities, highlighting both efficiency and corruption. Travels in India. In India, Ibn Battuta served as Qali or Islamic judge under Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq of Delhi. He observed the court, governance, and legal processes, recording the complexities of Indian administration. He also noted local customs, interactions between Muslims and Hindus, and the integration of Islamic law in a non Arab context. His experiences in India exemplify the mobility of scholars within the Islamic world and the spread of Islamic institutions beyond the Middle East. Travels in Southeast Asia and China. Ibn Battuta continued to Southeast Asia and China, visiting islands like Sumatra and the Maldives. He studied trade practices, mosques, and local Muslim communities. His observations highlight the spread of Islamic through maritime trade and cultural exchange. He also described Chinese governance, trade ports, and religious practices, providing one of the earliest Islamic perspectives on the Far East. Social observations. Throughout his travels, Ibn Battuta meticulously recorded social life. He described hierarchies, gender roles, marriage customs, festivals, and community norms. His travelogue provides rich insights into how Muslim communities adapted local customs while maintaining Islamic principles. These observations illustrate the diversity of Islamic civilization and the flexibility of cultural practices within a shared with a shared religious framework. Religious observations. Ibn Battuta paid the particular attention to religious practices. He observed variations in prayer, Hajj rituals, and adherence to Sharia. He compared different regions, often noting deviations of or reforms in local practice. Despite the differences, he emphasized the unity of Islam and the shared faith across cultures. These observations are critical for understanding the historical and geographical spread of Islam. Political observations. Ibn Battuta also recorded political structures justice systems, and rulers' conduct. He commented on taxation, administration, and law enforcement. For instance, he noted the efficiency of some rulers and the corruption or arbitrariness of others. His observations help historians reconstruct the governance of medieval Islamic states and the interaction between religion and politics. Cultural insights. Ibn Battuta's accounts provide rich cultural insights. He described languages, literary practices, arts, architecture, and attire. He observed music, dance, food, and ceremonies. His travelogue demonstrates cultural diversity, regional variation, and the interconnectedness of Islamic civilization through trade, scholarship, and pilgrimage. The Rihla travelogue. The culmination of the Batuta's journeys is his travelogue, the Rihla, compiled by Ibn Juzay under the patronage of Sultan Abu Inan. The Rihla provides detailed accounts of his journeys, blending personal narrative with historical, cultural, and religious observations. It remains one of the most comprehensive sources on the 14th century Islamic society and geography, offering scholars valuable insights into medieval life. Contributions to geography. Ibn Battuta made significant contributions to geography. His accounts describe cities, ports, trade routes, and landscapes across the Islamic world. Historians have used his observations to reconstruct medieval maps and trade networks. He highlighted urban planning, resource distribution, and population patterns, providing practical information for both contemporary and modern researchers. Contributions to history and society. The Rihla is invaluable for social and historical analysis. It documents governance, trade, social customs, religious practices, and education. Ibn Battuta's observation help us understand how societies functioned, how people interacted, and how Islam influenced daily life. His writings also illustrate the interconnectedness of Islamic civilization and the role of scholars in maintaining knowledge and social order. Methodology and accuracy. Ibn Battuta relied on observation, personal experience, and interviews with scholars and officials. While some exaggerations or errors exist, most of his accounts are historically accurate and verifiable. His methodology reflects a combination of travel diary and ethnographic recording, making him both a traveler and, and a historian. Scholars cross reference his work with other sources to access reliability. Impact on Islamic civilization studies. Ibn Battuta's travels demonstrated the cosmopolitan nature of Islamic civilization. His observations bridged knowledge across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, highlighting trade, education, and cultural exchange. His work serves as a foundational source for studying medieval Islam, international networks, and cross cultural interactions, influencing generations of historians and geographers. Influence on later scholars. Later scholars, including historians and geographers, drew upon Ibn Battuta's work to understand global Islamic connections. His Rihla inspired European explorers, Orientalist scholars, and modern historians. He set a president of travel-based scholarship, showing that first-hand observation is vital to understanding diverse societies. Modern relevance. Even today, Ibn Battuta's travels offer lessons in globalization, cultural understanding, and religious tolerance. His journeys remind us that Islam was historically pluralistic and interconnected. Modern scholars, policymakers, and travelers can learn from his openness, curiosity, and ethical observation of diverse communities. Lessons from Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta teaches the importance of curiosity, ethical engagement, and observation. He demonstrates that travel is not only a physical journey but also an intellectual and spiritual pursuit. His approach shows how to balance religious identity with openness to new ideas, a lesson still relevant for students and scholars in today's globalized world. Conclusion. In conclusion, Ibn Battuta exemplifies the intellectual and cultural dynamism of Islamic civilization. His travels illustrate the diversity, adaptability, and interconnectedness of the Muslim world in the 14th century. The Rihla remains a vital source for historians and provides lessons in scholarship, tolerance, and engagement across cultures. His legacy continues to inspire students, travelers, and scholars worldwide. References. The sources I used include Al Uyami, Dun, and others. Additional references were consulted to provide historical context and cultural interpretation. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.